Hello, this is Farrell Vincent with Nation 473. And I wanted to come to you guys with a video on great matchmaking. More specifically, 473 is currently facing off against 429, the reigning global conquest champions for our globe. You know, the thing that we never made it out of the semifinal or into the semifinals for, or any of the final rounds for that matter. The ones that beat 425 and also 443 for the ultimate victory there. Yeah, those guys. It's pretty lopsided, to say the least. We're going to be having an interesting void. And so I kind of wanted to spend a little bit on strategy, right? How do you look at something like this? Some giant titan, right, of a nation. And how do you take them down in an event like this when you are 473, right? When it's David versus Goliath. So there's a few things that, we're going to do in order to mitigate as much damage taken as possible. Because it's not like we're not going to fight. We have to, right? We are going to fight this. But we're going to fight this smart too. And the first thing I wanted to point out is actually in the Alliance shop. Something that we should stock and people need to buy a bunch of is these withdrawal cards. Withdrawing from combat is actually a very good thing to do on losing fights. As far as timing's concerned, it's best to withdraw right around the time when your melee start to go down. So as soon as you're out of melee, pop that withdraw. Because as your melee die, right, your zombies are next, and they're generally fairly tanky, so that gives you your 5-second window before they get onto your, long-range troops that are going to melt. And mid-range people like us, you kind of want to try to time it for 5 seconds before the melee dies, so that way your troops are out of harm's way right before that happens. It's a tough timing to get right for mid-rangers, but for long-range people, adding a bunch of these to your alliance and encouraging people to use them on losing fights is going to become a very big component of this. Each one of these withdrawal cards are actually 500 gold without the card, so getting them from the Alliance shop is actually kind of preferable to a lot of other things, right? And that's, 500 gold that's going to save you on a losing fight. Something else to consider when you're in these big fights, right? Make sure that you're stocked up on bubbles. You're going to want to use them frequently, right? Like I don't have that many 2-hour P shields, which also are Alliance shop items, so you kind of get to play around with that. I also don't plan on making too many attacks this upcoming event just because, they're a monstrous nation and I don't want to spend anything or, really burn through too much. What I have here is what I'm willing to spend, and that's it. Right, this is all I will spend on this event, and I'm going to try not to even use these. Right, I might use my free teleport and go for some defensive kills. Maybe I have no idea what I plan on doing, but just trying to avoid using up a lot of resources in these big battles is actually going to be crucial. Another thing to do as a nation, and this is a prepare your nation situation, is you want to really police all of the other, academies, all of the farms, all of the everyone leading up to these events, because if you can go out there and find it, assume that enemy nation is going to, especially one that's as active as 429, right? I'm going to assume that they're going to scout most, if not all, of our farms, right? They're going to be looking for those weak links, and they're going to be hitting them frequently. And with the academies, right, I hate to say this, but these guys have been giving up points lately, so making sure that we are on top of them as they give up points and we know what they're doing is important. So that's kind of the big crux of this video, right? Like, what should you do to prepare your nation for just a slog of a fight? I always recommend, and this is for every event, not just ones that are tough matches, go to their globe, right? We're going to find that nation and we're going to take a look at them, right? Because you really want to know who you're fighting. Know who you can SOS. Know how to decide an SOS target, right? Like, ahead of time, I usually prepare a few people that I'm looking for on the map, or at least I have an idea of what this ranking looks like. And I look at the officer ranking, and you're looking for anyone at or below your power ranking, right? So I'm sitting at 46 million or 4.6 million officer BP roughly. I can go a little bit above that. I wouldn't go too much more. So pretty much from this individual down is all within my realm. But if you can find somebody who's about 1 million behind you, that's usually a strong SOS target, right? And this guy is 25 million BP. So this is where you need to know how much damage can you cause, right? What kind of stats do you bring, but also what's your outgoing power on an attack? So I buffed Sid of about 7 million. As a general rule of thumb, you should be able to handle at least a 3-to-1 ratio. 4-to-1 may not be bad. This individual has a very high commander ranking, which means that their officers are probably somewhat decent, pretty decent individual rep for where they are in the standings. May not be a bad idea, right? This guy's a lot higher and a C35. I don't actually think I could take him, right? And so you kind of go through and you're trying to find these targets. Another C35. This guy C35 too? Oh, this nation's gonna be fun. C35. Here we go. Still probably no. That's a lot of troops. Yeah, okay, here we go. Big cheeks here, I could clap them. This person I know I could clap. So just a thing to look out for, right? So if I see big cheeks, I'm going to clap them cheeks, right? Same thing with Dinoji. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. I could clap them cheeks too. C34 is just not going to have much of a chance against me. So these are the ideas of how to pick targets, how to look. Again, look for that 3-to-1 ratio. You're looking for lower officer power than you. I mean, I hate to say this, but pick on the little guy is kind of the name of the game. You're only as strong as your weakest link, right? And so making sure your weak links are all contained and then finding and picking apart the enemy weak links is just the best way to play this game. So that's the point of today's video. I don't know how this battle of 429 is going to go, but I do plan on doing some battle reports at the end of this particular event, so do keep an eye out for that. We're going to do another video with some music over the tone, just because, we don't have to necessarily go into too much, although if I have something to say, I will. But I just figured that might be something that you guys could really enjoy. Just seeing a compilation of battle reports from the Void. And I'll make sure to include a screen grab of whatever happened at the end. So with that, I appreciate your time. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. And I'll see you on the next one.